everyone, my name is Anna and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you stopped by, so make sure you subscribe to it so you can see every time I post a video. Today I'm going to show you how to make bolognese sauce. Bolognese sauce is a very hearty sauce. It's perfect for this transition from summer to fall. I think it's not cool enough yet to be eating butternut squash soup or anything like that, but this is hearty and it's comforting and it's the perfect transitioning recipe. In case you're wondering the difference between a bolognese sauce and a regular meat sauce, the bolognese is a lot thicker, it is creamier. It's so luxurious in a way because we are going to be adding some milk product into it that a regular meat sauce doesn't have, and we're also going to be using different kind of meat, which is going to add amazing flavor. So without further ado, let me show you the ingredients so we can get started. Okay, so for the ingredients, you're going to need some ground beef, ground pork, some pancetta, bacon could also work well, water, crushed tomatoes, red wine, any dry red wine, half and half Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano, that's what I'm using, tomato paste, a bay leaf. I also have a pinch of nutmeg in here. I mean, it's literally a pinch, you can't even see it, but it does add a really nice flavor to the sauce. Salt, onion, celery, carrots, garlic, some thyme, and also a grind of a Parmigiano Reggiano. I always put these in the freezer because it does add such a nice flavor and consistency to any sauce or soup that you're making. But obviously if you don't have that, that's fine, you don't need to add it. I just think it's really nice. And last but not least, you're going to need some oil. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is pulse the carrots, onions, and celery in a food processor until it's very finely chopped. I really don't want chunky pieces of veggies in my sauce, so I find like doing this is a lot easier than having to chop it by hand. But of course, if you don't have a food processor, you can always do it by hand. So I'm just gonna do the onions first. Mine is quite small, so it doesn't fit the whole thing. Now that I have this part ready, the next thing I'm going to do is chop my pancetta into small pieces. Like I said, you can either use pancetta or you can use bacon. Pancetta is pretty much like an Italian bacon, so there's not much difference to it. If you can buy the one that comes already cut, that's perfect, like chopped into small pieces. Couldn't find it, so I just had to get the sliced pancetta, and I'm just gonna do it myself. Okay, we have our pancetta ready. So you can see it's cut into really small, tiny pieces. And now we're ready to start cooking. The first thing we're going to do is turn on the stove on medium heat. And I have a Dutch oven here, and I'm just gonna wait for it to get hot. I'm gonna use just 1 tablespoon of oil, not that much. Okay, and we're going to add our meat. And the mixture of pork and beef gives it such a nice flavor as well. It is absolutely delicious. So I'm just gonna let that brown for a couple of minutes on each side. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. This is what you want your meat to look like. As you can see, it's pretty much cooked through and it's gotten those tiny little crispy pieces. And now I'm going to remove it and put it in a bowl until we're ready to use it again. And I know it's going to be a few steps, but this is what's going to give you a really nice flavor. Now that we are done with our meat, I'm going to go ahead and add the pancetta in there, and we really want to render all of its fat because that's extra flavor that we're going to have, of course. Just break that up a little bit. This won't really take long because the pot is already so hot that it's going to cook very quickly. So it looks like our pancetta, it's pretty much done. It is nice and crispy. We just want to remove it from the pot. The ground meat cooked for about 10 minutes or so, and then this cooked for about 3 to 4 minutes. To the pot, we're going to add our sofrito mixture. Give it a nice stir. And the heat is still on medium. You don't want to change it. Make sure you scrape the sides because all those bits in there, that's flavor. Flavor, flavor, flavor that you do not want to miss. We're gonna let this cook for a couple of minutes. Okay, so my veggies are nice and tender, as you can probably see. And we're going to add back the pancetta. Add the beef back into the pot. I'm going to mix everything very well. Now that everything looks nice and mixed, we're going to add our wine. Be very careful with this step. Now we just want to wait for the wine to evaporate. It's going to take around 15 minutes, but that is going to ensure that we get the flavor from the wine, but we don't get any of the alcohol. So this step is very important, to let the wine evaporate. Okay, so as you can see, the wine has evaporated. It took 5 minutes, and now I am going to add pretty much the rest of the ingredients. Tomato paste, the rind of a Parmesan cheese, bay leaf, the pinch of nutmeg. I'm also going to add my thyme, just like that. You can tie it if you want, and our crushed tomatoes. Add the water, as well as a generous amount of salt. Obviously, after the sauce is done, we're going to try it again and see if it needs a little more salt, because since it is going to reduce, we wouldn't want to put too much salt now. Otherwise, it's going to be way too salty when it's done cooking. And last but not least, our half and half. My half and half looks a little weird because it was actually frozen cream and milk. And that's a great substitute to half and half if you don't have frozen cream and milk. I like to freeze mine because I buy it in huge amounts, so it looks a little weird. Everything's in there, so we're going to bring the heat all the way to low. You want to cook this low and slow for about 2 hours, partially covered. You do want to check on it once in a while to make sure nothing's sticking on the bottom of the pot. But yeah, so you just want to let it do its thing, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like once it's done. Okay, so my pasta has been cooking for about an hour and 40 minutes, and I just wanted to take the time to give you guys a few tips and tricks regarding the type of pasta that you're going to be needing for this type of sauce. This recipe is more about the bolognese sauce or bolognese sauce, so I didn't want to show you guys how to make pasta because I feel that's pretty self-explanatory. You just boil water with tons of salt, you put the pasta in, and you cook it for as long as the box says, the instructions say. So I didn't want to do that part, but I do want to show you a few pasta noodle options that you could use. So here I have a pappardelle You can also use something like penne. Could also work. I find that a wider pasta noodle really captures all the juices and everything, and this is a very, like I said, a very luxurious pasta, and I feel like a angel hair or a regular spaghetti, it's not going to do the trick. It's not going to hold up the pasta sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and cook my pasta noodles, and then we're going to put everything together and we're going to give it a try and see how it came out. Okay, so let's see. Oh yes, that is perfection. Look how beautiful this sauce is. It's really nice and thick and kind of creamy at the same time. It's not watery like a regular meat sauce would be. And it smells, oh, it smells fantastic. If you find that the sauce is a little bland and doesn't have a lot of flavor, it probably needs a little more salt. Okay, so I get my pasta. Okay, and I just place it in the other pot. You can drain the pasta, but I find that this is way easier, and then you're also carrying some of that pasta water, even though we did save some pasta water by the way, but it carries the pasta water to the other pot, so it's really going to help mix everything a lot better. I did leave my pasta noodles a few minutes shy of al dente because they are going to keep cooking in here. And now with my tongs, I'm just going to mix everything together very well. This is also the time to add your Parmesan cheese. I'm going to freshly grate it real quickly. You can always do this ahead of time, but I don't mind doing it at the last minute. Okay, that should be good enough. Now we're going to mix it again. We just want to cook it in the sauce for about 2 minutes. We just want to marry everything together. Okay. Okay, so the sauce is finally done, and I'm just going to bring it over here. As you saw, we mixed in the pasta. I just want to, oh, it's so beautiful. It smells so incredible. It really does smell, it smells incredible. Okay, let me just scoosh it over here so you guys can see it. Okay. Now let's put it in here. Oh, wow. This is so beautiful. Put the whole thing in here. Okay, just like so. Okay, and now we're going to top it with the extra sauce that's in here. Can you guys see that? Isn't this the most beautiful plate of pasta you ever seen? Okay. Some more Parmigiano Reggiano because we can never have too much. Right on top. Whoa, that's nice. And of course, you guys can't have all the fun. I need to try it and see how it came out. Actually, there's a few noodles in here, so I'm gonna try that. It's very hot, steaming hot. Mmm. You won't get a better pasta anywhere. If you enjoyed this recipe, make sure you give me, I probably have sauce all over my mouth and my face, but it doesn't matter. If you enjoyed this recipe, make sure you subscribe to the channel, you give me a thumbs up, Comment down below what other recipes you want to see now in the fall. And forget that the written recipe is on my website, anitasdelightrecipes.com. I always leave it down below in the description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.